This is RadioFire.com. Yours truly, Diamond K, in here. Thank you for joining me. Of course, we're broadcasting from the Radio on Fire studios here in Baltimore, Maryland. And of course, BaltimoreMusicAwards.com. Big announcement coming tomorrow morning as it relates to the Baltimore Music Awards. So, with that being said, I frequently post show topics on my Facebook page. So, if you ever see me post a quote, one of the quote card, quote picture things, where it's just the words, that's going to be a future show topic. And I posted a topic that said, will tougher gun laws lower homicide rates and help prevent mass shootings? Posted that a couple of days ago. And it was very interesting discussion. I saw very interesting thoughts on this subject of tougher gun laws. In the wake of so many mass shootings, such a large homicide rate in urban communities around the country, I asked the question, would tougher gun laws, so what does tougher gun laws mean? Tougher gun laws is, it's a wide range of things. So let me say this. Maryland has some strict gun laws. Actually, Maryland has some of the strictest gun laws in the entire United States. But that's not what I mean. When I say tougher gun laws, I don't mean that one state has tough gun laws, next state shit's real laxed, and then the next state is tough, and then the next state is real lax. I'm talking about across the board, state to state, tough gun laws. If we had tough gun laws for real, would that put a dent in homicides and mass shootings? The answer is yes. If you're talking about doing it the way that I mean doing it. And when I say tougher gun laws, what do I mean? So what I mean is this. I mean, it's not simple for anybody to walk in a store and purchase a gun without a proper background check and a mental screening, and that's for starters. But if those things happen across the board, background check, mental health screening, and there was a time of investigating, like, there's a process, a mental process to decide whether or not you should be granted the privilege of owning a gun. If that happened in all of the 50 states, mass shootings would go down. At least that is my thought. So, now that I put that out there, some of the comments that I read, very interesting. Very interesting comments. A lot of people have a lot of views on this. A lot of thoughts on this, because this is a controversial thing. This is not a simple thing. This is a controversial thing. Because many people believe that they should have the privilege of owning a gun regardless. And I think that's kind of crazy. Everybody does not deserve the same privileges. They don't. But many people feel that they should just automatically have the privilege to have a gun, possess a gun. Now, I was in a restaurant and the busboy was slamming the the dishes in the tray thing, cleaning off a table. He was upset about something. He's slamming them in there, bam, bam, bam. One of the other workers comes up and says, "Hey, I got it. Calm down. You can just go in the back. I'll take care of it." So then he takes over. He's in the back now. The first guy who was slamming the dishes, now he's in the back. He's in the kitchen area. And the restaurant's packed full of people. And you can still hear him slamming stuff. Bam, bam, bam. You can hear him slamming dishes, right? The waitress came over and said, I gotta get from out of here. This is the kind of situation where somebody can come back and shoot the whole place up, right? Wasn't very reassuring. Get to the cash register because I'm getting ready to leave. Get to the cash register, and the cashier says that the guy's schizophrenic, the one who was slamming the things. Not sure why she revealed that information or whether she even should have revealed that information. And I guess that was her way of trying to quell some of the angst that naturally existed after, hearing that. Him slamming the dishes. But my point is that let's say, and a couple people that were around me said this should be his last day. He shouldn't work here no more. Now let's say that the gentleman was fired. Let's say that was his last day and he was sent home. And let's say that his father had a gun in the house, which he was able to get to easily. Kid's schizophrenic. Well, he wasn't a kid, he was an adult. Schizophrenic, gets his hands on a gun, he just got fired, goes to work, shoots up the place. Boom. So what I'm talking about is this background check needs to happen. So not only should the background check involve you, the gun owner, but it should also involve your surroundings. When I have to get car insurance, right? Is everybody entitled to a car? No. But when I have to get car insurance and they're pricing my car insurance, they want to know how many licensed drivers are in the house. Why? Why do they want to know that? Why do they want to get all in your business? They want to get on your business because this person who's living in your house, who's a licensed driver, could potentially drive your car one day. So they want to know how old this licensed driver is, who they are. They want to check their record, and that's going to determine how much and if you are eligible for the car insurance. But for gun ownership, doesn't work like that. Oh no, it's like they're giving them away, right? They're giving them away. Some people, many people that are involved in mass shootings, these people should not have been gun owners in the first place. Most mass shooting people own those guns and they got them legally. Most. Now we're talking about mass shootings because we have a variety of problems with regards to guns. But I'm just talking about specifically at this moment, mass shootings. The mass shooter usually purchased the gun legally. So this problem could be corrected because after the shooting, they always say, oh my God, this person had mental health issues, right? But if we did proper screening in the first place, this person that had this mental health issues, per my screening, he wouldn't have had a gun in the first place, not legally. Now, a lot of people make excuses and they'll say, oh, the criminals don't go by the laws. Oh, but the laws affect the criminals. And a lot of people think small, and they'll say, oh, no criminal is thinking about the penalties before they commit the crime. But that's not what I'm talking about. That punishment part is not what I'm talking about, but we can put that in the mix as well. Yes, they're not thinking about that at the time. They think that they're going to get away with it. Beautiful. That's not what I'm talking about. Because what a lot of people don't understand about this epidemic and how connected people on the street are to the actual law-abiding gun owners. But let me explain this to you. If there were not legal guns, many people on the street would not have the guns, because these guns are stolen from gun owners who purchased the guns legally. Where do you think the guns come from, right? There's not an illegal crime store for gun owners. They get them on the street. They buy the guns from people who stole the guns. Just like when you buy hot merchandise, just like when you got a booster, right? Most guns can be traced from that first purchase from the store, that first time. And after that, it can get fuzzy. Gets fuzzy after that. So that what I'm trying to prevent is that first person that owned the gun. The one who actually bought it from the gun store. That's what I'm talking about. So it's a very interesting paradox. So we talk about Maryland real quick. Maryland requires a full license, including passing a comprehensive background check, just to own a handgun. And if you want to carry one in public, if you want to carry a gun in public in Maryland, you need to prove to the local police chief that you have a good and substantial reason to carry a firearm in public for self-defense. A good and substantial reason. The bar for proving this is set so high that it is practically impossible for the average Marylander to be approved for a permit to carry. It's a very high standard to prove that. Not impossible, just nearly impossible. All right? But none of that seems to have stopped criminals in Maryland from illegally acquiring, carrying, and shooting people with guns. So you may say, as many people said on social media, well, that wouldn't stop the crime, right? And some data may support that. So let's go back to there were some really good comments on the post about these tougher gun laws, and I'm just pulling this up. I'm gonna pull up some of these comments. So as I said, I posted this question: would tougher gun laws lower homicide rates and help prevent mass shootings? That was my question. So a lot of people just simply said no, or they don't think so. One person, S. Monique, said it's a start. It's a mind shift of the gun owners. That's what she said. Roger said, of course, we have some of the toughest gun laws in the country. Franco said, the simple answer is no, but I'm all for changing the gun laws. No person needs military-style assault rifles. You're not hunting with that. You're not protecting your family with that. So why do you need a weapon that has 50 rounds? I'm definitely for restricting what guns can be purchased. Guns should be able to be purchased. Yes. Certain guns. Do you need armor-piercing weapons on the streets? No. So CJ said that most crimes aren't committed with registered guns. It's not true. Most crimes are committed with registered guns that were stolen. So yes, they were registered, just not to the person who did the shooting. Valencia said that nothing is wrong with the background check and limiting assault weapons. There needs to be awareness and a campaign to combat America's gun mentality. Other countries look at us like we're crazy, and we do sound crazy having to have all of the guns on the street without any proper checks. We need checks. Everybody doesn't deserve a fucking gun. Everybody does not need a fucking gun just because. Some people don't have the mental capacity, because when they get mad about some shit, they just immediately want to go to the gun. When you fucked up in the head, that's what you do. So Alyssa said, no, it's not going to stop the problem. When crimes are being committed, people are not researching penalty. Either they're not contemplating being caught, or so crazy they don't give a fuck about being caught. So tougher gun laws are necessary for punishment, but not prevention. So basically, let me read one more. Michelle says that, coupled with white men monitored like terrorists that they are, and better mental health care. Crystal says no. Elaine says no. Deja says no. Michael says, I wish that they would make a tougher gun law stick because there are too many guns in the wrong hands. Tamil says, what people whoever illegally shot and killed others cared about gun laws? And Rodney said, nope, murders don't give a fuck about laws. It might deter some scary mofos, but goons don't care because they believe they're above the law anyway. So I think that what people are missing is, even if the tougher gun law stopped one murder, that would be worth it. Nothing's going to stop everything. But what I'm trying to get people to understand is that we're talking about two problems, two different types of offenders. Guys and gals that are on the streets committing crimes, illegal activity, drugs, gangs, things like that. They're not purchasing the guns legally. They are buying and obtaining stolen guns that were stolen from legitimate gun owners. Okay? That's first and foremost. So when you talk about making it harder to purchase guns, this needs to happen across the country, as I said earlier. If somebody really wants to commit a crime, as I saw somebody said on the Facebook post, somebody really wants to get the gun, they're going to be able to get the gun whether the law is tough or not, right? They're going to steal the gun, right? This logic is flawed. Let me tell you why. They'll say that they're going to get it anyway, so there's no need in making a tougher law. Okay? You have an alarm on your car. If somebody really wants to get in your car, your alarm's not going to stop them. They can just bust the window and the shit will be going off and they can take what they want, or steal your car anyway, and regardless. And yes, but does that stop you from turning on your alarm? The fact that they potentially, if they really want your car, can get it anyway? No, it doesn't stop you. You set your alarm in your house. You lock your door. If somebody really wants to get in, they can kick the door in or come through the window or the screen door or any variety of things. Does that stop you from locking the door? No. Do you not lock the door and then somebody breaks in and say, well, they want to get here anyway, so I just left the shit open for them? No, you don't. You don't do that. But with guns, we just get dumb and fuzzy, and it just, you know, it just gets crazy. And I don't understand why people act like this about weapons. So China says it may reduce the amount of guns that are available on the street if it's tougher to get one. So I say yes, even guns that aren't legally purchased are stolen from people who legally purchase them. If it's not easy for people to legally purchase, then it would also reduce the amount of hot guns on the street. This will go over some people's heads, but I think it will help. She's exactly right. She is exactly right. And it does go over some people's heads. They're not going to agree with that because they don't want to. Because they don't want to. Now, Maurice said, look at what tougher gun laws did for New York City. You're doing at least 3 of the mandatory 5-year sentence, and their murder rates have plummeted. That is true. So he's talking about it from the punishment standpoint. And when I say laws, that can apply to punishment, and that can apply to just obtaining the gun in the first place. So very interesting and very engaging discussions and debates with people as it relates to this topic. Now, many crimes and the gun that they did to commit this crime came from out of state as it relates to Maryland. The majority of crime guns traced by the ATF come back as originating in Maryland. Okay? Back in 2015, the ATF traced 2,913 out of 5,498 Maryland crime guns that year to first being lawfully purchased in Maryland. Now, same time period, the ATF was able to trace 1,212 crime guns to Virginia, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania. So let me say that again. The majority of the crime guns that were on the street, the majority of them were originally purchased legally in Maryland. Very interesting. Now, of course, with the exception of homemade guns, every commercially manufactured firearm can be traced to where it was first sold to a member of the public. Now, it becomes harder to trace its path once it leaves that gun store, but the ATF can at least trace the gun's first sale. Pointing to the ease of access in other states does not change the fact that Maryland's strict pistol purchase requirements have not stopped Baltimore's residents from sourcing most of their weapons in state. That is a fact. Now, even if interstate trafficking ended, these statistics suggest that criminals would still have 53% of their guns and simply need to step up efforts to steal or straw purchase guns in Maryland. Now, that would make guns on the street a little scarce. That might raise the price of hot guns, but it would affect the criminal rate on the street, and it would definitely put a dent in mass shootings, because the mass shooters are not stealing the guns. Mass shooters, they already had the guns in the first place. That's all I'm saying. So we can either try some different things to combat this epidemic, or we can sit on our hands as we have been doing while it just gets worse and worse and worse. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at The Diamond K Show, at Radio on Fire. Of course, daily new episodes dropping. If you miss any episodes, you can log on to radioonfire.com/shows and check out what you missed. I will be back tomorrow.